keep on traveling this path, though it may be steep. And I'll keep on fighting my fears, though they may run deep. And I'll keep on singing, I'll keep on singing. Sometimes these old records in my mind leave me feeling faith is hard to find. When enough of you say what I'm trying to do can't be done, I just gotta run. I'll keep on fighting my fears, though they may run deep. I'll keep on traveling this path, though it may be steep. And I'll keep on singing, I'll keep on singing. I'll keep on traveling this path, though it may be steep. I'll keep on fighting my fears, though they may run deep. And I'll keep on singing, I'll keep on singing. I'll keep on singing, I'll keep on singing. I'll keep on singing, I'll keep on singing.
Look there into the east. A new day is dawning. The greatest is least. Notice towards the north, the arrows are broken. They've thrown down the swords. Brighter and brighter into the shine. Higher and higher are the children. See how the birds fly into the bright sky. Children of light. Children, deep is a new time. The center's a new sky. Children of light. See how into the south. See there's one song. Mouth. Awaken far to the west. Once there was chaos, now there is matters not noontime or dead of night. Be one, unite, illuminating children of light, children of light, children of light, children of light.
All shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. I am walking through the green pastures, and I know that I'm not alone. The song of the meadowlark sings to my soul, tenderly calling me home. And all shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. And all shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. La da na 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 na. I am walking beside the still waters, as fresh as the breeze at dawn. The voice of my ancestors whispering, giving me the strength to carry on. All shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. And all shall be well, all shall be well, all manner of things shall be well. Surely goodness and mercy will follow, and love will be leading the way. Every shadow will shine in the fullness of time, and bloom in the hearts of the brave. And all shall be well, all shall.
Good morning, everybody at home and in the sanctuary. We're so excited to be with you on this last Sunday of August, and we have a great treat today. We call this act Pete Jacobs and Friends, but Pete's got a very special friend, Gay Waterbury, and they're going to do some amazing music today in support of this wonderful series that we're in on Discover the Power Within You. So today, we're going to start things off with a song called Good Enough.
First time you brought me home, my mama said he ain't good enough. I don't want my girl to be alone, but I wonder, am I good enough? And I was doing some worrying too, and I was thinking, am I good enough for you?
Good enough,
Good enough,
good enough,
good enough. The first time that I held you, I know it was a little rough, little rough, little rough. But it when at last we was still he asked, was good enough,
Good enough, good enough.
and I cried and looked in your eyes of blue, 'cause I've been praying, praying, was I good enough for you?
Good enough, good enough.
Good enough for you, baby.
Good enough, good enough.
Now I got to set my mind at ease. Gotta stop all your insecurities. 'Cause if anything, you're too good for me. Now it's strange how time's gone by since the day that I fell in love.
Fell in love, fell in love.
And still sometimes we have to ask ourselves, was it good enough?
Good enough, good enough.
Time is bound to make us see just how good enough can be.
Good enough, good enough. Good enough, good enough.
Good enough for you, baby.
Good enough, good enough.
I don't want to
Good
be
enough,
alone.
good enough.
Like good enough for you, baby.
Good enough, good enough. Good enough, good enough.
Pete Jacobs, Gay Waterbury. And with that, we say good morning and welcome to Columbine Spiritual Center. We're centered in God. We celebrate a world of harmony, peace, and abundance for all. We want you to stand on up in the sanctuary. You can stand up at home as well and sing our theme song for this series. 2, 3, and... You got the power within.
You got the power within. You got the power within. You got the power to change your life. You got the power within.
Loud and proud. Now
I got the power within. I got the power within. I got the power to change my mind. I got the power within.
how about we?
We got the power within. We got the power within. We got the power to change the world. We got the power within.
Yeah. Break it down one time.
You got the power within. You got the power within. You got the power to change your life. You got the power within. I got the power within. We got the power within. Within. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. You all could keep standing or sit. This is Unity. We're all about personal choice. And I claim a blessing. In the morning when I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my hand, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. All right, soul it up now. Ooh, I claim a blessing. 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 Yeah, thanks for claiming that with us. Go ahead and be seated. We're going to quiet our hearts and minds in preparation for prayer and meditation. And let's affirm this together. I love, I receive, I accept, I believe that I have all I need. I love, I receive, I accept, I believe that I am all I need I receive, I accept, I believe that I have all I need. I love, I receive, I accept, I believe that I am all I need now.
Just won't do that we don't have our candles lit. So I invite you, if you're at home, as we light our candles here, to remind ourselves of our inner Christ light, that you light one at home as well. And there we go. Let there be light. Okay, invite us into a time of prayer. So gently close your eyes if you're comfortable. Take that deep, cleansing breath and start letting yourself allow yourself to come into this knowing. Allow yourself to realize your divine essence, your divine potential. Allow yourself to receive all the good that is in store for you in this lifetime. Sweet Spirit, we let ourselves have life and have it abundantly. We allow that life force within us to come forth as our longings, to express into the world that which is longing to come forth from us and express as us. We are grateful for these longings. We are grateful for this divine spark within, because we are dazzling, radiant, limitless beings. We allow ourselves to see that. We allow ourselves to see ourselves in that light, in that dazzling, radiant light. It's what we truly are. And we allow anything standing in the way of that today to just fall away. For as long as we can keep it away, let ourselves be dazzling. Let ourselves be radiant. Let ourselves be limitless and free. As Jesus said, I came here to show life, give life, and give it abundantly, that you may have life abundantly. And so we allow that. And we know that even in spite of, or in addition to our dazzling, radiant selves, that we have human conditions and human challenges. And so we hold those with love. We hold those with knowing that all things are possible with God. All things are possible with God. We hold on to that. We allow that to come forth. We hold that for everyone on our prayer list and every prayer request in our prayer box. We hold that for anyone we know in our own circles, in our own lives that are in suffering or in pain. We hold them and allow them to dazzle, to let their light shine. We are so grateful for this knowing, for this awareness. And we hold it for as long as we can hold it. And so it is. Amen.
Morning. I'm going to do a song, probably one of the, I know certainly Gay's favorite songs, one of my favorite songs too. This is by Mary Chapin Carpenter, and this is called Why Walk When You Can Fly. In this world there's a whole lot of trouble, baby. In this world there's a whole lot of pain. In this world there's a whole lot of trouble, but a whole lot of ground to gain. Why take when you could be giving? Why watch as the world goes by? It's a hard enough life to be living. Why walk when you can fly? In this world there's a whole lot of sorrow. In this world there's a whole lot of shame. In this world there's a whole lot of sorrow, but a whole lot of ground to gain. When you spend your whole life wishing, wandering, wondering why, it's a long enough life to be living. Why walk when you can fly? In this world there's a whole lot of gold, and in this world there's a whole lot of pain. In this world, got a soul for a compass and a heart for a pair of wings. Rising arms far horizon, rising bright in an azure sky. For the rest of the time that you're given, why walk when you can fly?
And gay. So there was a minister who, they were taking the collection, and the minister said, you know, we need some extra money this week, so anyone whoever puts in the most money in the collection basket this week, you get to pick 3 hymns. And so the collection basket went around, and it came back, and the minister saw, ooh, there's a $1,000 bill. You know, those aren't even in circulation anymore, so that was worth a lot, $1,000 bill. And he's like, who put in this $1,000 bill in the collection basket? I need to know. And a frail little old lady in the back raised her hand. He said, come on up here. We're going to let you pick out 3 hymns. And so she came up to the front, and he said, okay, what 3 hymns do you want? And she looked out at the community and found the most 3 handsome men and said, I'll take him and him and him. I love that, because how many times do we misinterpret the intention or misperceive the purpose? That life is lived from the inside out. It's not about the outer hymns. We just finished Prosperity Plus, which was a great series. We had 10 weeks. This past Wednesday was our 10th week, and I'm so proud of this group. This group would come in every week with energy just oozing over, bubbling up, and just exuberant. And it was such a joy to watch each of them start to live from that place, start to live from their vision, that untapped potential. And this week we had a couple people who actually shared their vision with the group, and the support and the love, you could just feel it in the room. You could just feel it. And I love facilitating Prosperity Plus, because it's so about reaching in and knowing what is that potential within, what is life calling for me to do, to be, to have, and living it, living from that place. It's so in alignment with this book that we have this talk series on now, Discover the Power Within You by Eric Butterworth. This is week 5 of our 7-week series. And this is my favorite Unity book, favorite Unity minister. I love his writing. And he talks about how the power within is within each one of us. We have this ability to live a life of our dreams, to find that hidden potential. Jesus said, I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. Have it abundantly. That's desire. That desire within us is spirit calling us, longing. It's a longing. We live our lives often by either a longing for something or push against some pain. And so in Discover the Power Within You, what is your longing? What is your life calling for you to do, be, have? What is longing to come forth through you and as you in a bigger way so that you can have more life live more life. But we often cut it off. It's like the rubber band, if you watched my sneak peek this week. So if you wrap a rubber band around your finger, the finger's gonna turn red, it's gonna get then blue, get a little swollen, and if you don't let go of that resistance, the cells in the finger are gonna be damaged. And we do that in our lives too. We have so many things that hold us against the life force. We want to release that resistance. We want to take that rubber band off our finger and let life flow, let the blood flow more freely. And we do that by looking at our beliefs. We do that by looking at what is not working in our lives. We do that by looking at our fears and our resentments and our bitterness and whatever is in our life that is preventing us from being dazzling and radiant and limitless. Because that's what we are. At our core, inside, we are dazzling, radiant, and limitless beings. And so often it's clouded over with a rubber band or with something stopping us from experiencing ourselves in that way. We need to stabilize our lives. This weekend, Kevin and I were up in Summit County, and we just bought a kayak. It's our first kayak. We bought an inflatable kayak, and it has 3 fins on the bottom, and we went for a little ride on Lake Dillon. It was really wonderful and fun, and so hard to prepare a talk when you've got all that stuff in Summit County in the summer tempting you to not work. But we had to try out the new kayak. So we went for about an hour-and-a-half ride, had a great time. Came back. It's an inflatable kayak. Kevin deflated it, put it in the car. Yesterday, we were packing up to go home late afternoon. He's like, "Do you know where the fins are?" Like, no. I thought they were in the kayak, and couldn't find them anywhere. He emptied the car a couple times. He emptied the kayak as he's trying to. We only had used it one time, and the fins were gone. And so we start driving home. We're in Silverthorne, and he said, "Do you think we should go?" He had called Frisco Marina and asked if anyone had turned them in. Nobody had. He's like, "Do you think we should drive over there and just see?" I said, "Yes." So we went over there, and we went to the dock. We walked down there, and there they were, still sitting on the dock from the day before. The elation, the joy at seeing those 3 fins was so funny, that this little thing that meant so much to us. But what are fins on a kayak but something that keeps you going straight? They keep you on track with less effort. Think about our lives and what keeps us on track? What keeps you on track? As the wind shift and change occurs, what keeps you on track? For me, it's an affirmation that I heard years ago. My first Unity minister said, "I will to will the will of God. I will to will the will of God." And he said, don't say that. Don't affirm that unless you mean it. Because when you say it, you're saying, God's will. I will to will thy will, God, thy will. Not my will, not my human will, but my will from inside, from deep inside me. That part of me that is dazzling and radiant and limitless. I will to will that will. That will. So often we think of the will of God and we want to put blame on God. Something bad happens in our lives. Oh, it was God's will. Something didn't manifest as we thought. Oh, it was God's will. God's will that I didn't get that job. God's will that relationship didn't work out. God doesn't will that stuff on us. That is not God's will. God Spirit just is. Spirit is love. Spirit has no wants or needs for us or desires. Spirit just is. We're the ones that give meaning to the things that happen in our lives. And if something doesn't work out, it's up to us to take responsibility for that. Not blame it on Spirit or God, God's will. It's not God's will that you are sick, that you lack, that you're poor, that you're lonely, that your life isn't working out. That is never God's will for us. We are the activity of God. We are the activity of Spirit. And so we need to take responsibility for things that happen in our lives and our reaction to them. The will of God never produces lack. It's funny, I'm watching this show called The Chosen, and it's a story about Jesus' life, and it's really good. It's really good, and as he performs miracles, he always looks up. It says in the scriptures too, before he's going to perform a miracle, he looks up. It's not that he's looking up to a spirit or God's Father up there. He's looking away from the appearance of lack. He looks away from that. And he does it so beautifully in this show, The Chosen. You can just feel the radiance from him. This actor does an incredible job. So he performs these miracles. And the miracle of abundance is not in the methods. It's not in the how it happened, but in the ideas that are generated. That's God's currency, that Spirit's currency for us is ideas that come into our awareness, come into our consciousness. Eric Butterworth says this about the will of God. He explains it this way: the will of God is the ceaseless longing of the Spirit in you to completely fulfill in the outer the potential within you. The will of God in you is the pent-up energy of your own divinity that is seeking releasement and fulfillment in your manifest life. It is God seeking to express himself as you, as radiant health, eternal youth, as an all-sufficiency of supply, as freedom from limitation of any kind. So leave that quote up, if you would, for a minute. Let's look at that. That's a lot of words. But the will of God is the ceaseless longing of Spirit in you. The ceaseless longing. Life is always longing to come forth through us and as us in bigger, greater, freer, fuller ways. Always. It's ceaseless. Life is always wanting to express itself, completely fulfill in the outer that potential that's within each one of us. There is so much potential in each of us. And the will of God is for us to express that potential. The will of God in you is that pent-up energy of your own divinity that is seeking releasement. Can you feel that? It's seeking releasement. That longing in you wants to be expressed. Fulfillment in your manifest life. That's the will of God. So when we say, or when I say, I will to will, the will of God. I will to will thy will, Spirit. Will, in unity, the power of will is our ability to choose. So we're saying, I choose to choose alignment with that which is within me, that potential that is within me. The will of God doesn't want. The will of God is that longing to express more of us, more life, bring forth that life force. Rather than believing in God, believe from God, believe from Spirit, believe from this knowing that we are that. I will to will thy will. When we demand a certain outcome, it's like having the rubber band wrapped around our finger. There's so much more than a particular outcome. We always put in our vision statements in Prosperity Plus, this or something better. This or something better, because we don't know. We can only envision what we can from where our consciousness is. The Spirit may have something better for us. We want to believe from that consciousness, instead of letting the circumstances of our lives dictate what we can or cannot do. Believe from a consciousness of God. All things are possible. All things are possible. If we have an idea of a way to be or something to do or have, Spirit is longing. That Spirit in us, longing for more life to be expressed. And classes like Prosperity Plus support that. We support each other in those classes. We support each other's visions and longings. I had two things in the last week, 2 weeks, come about, be made manifest in my life that were on my vision. Because I wasn't just facilitating the class, I was participating in the class. So I had two things come about. One was I have been longing to be a spiritual director. I have a spiritual director that I talk to once a month. I love our time together. She's a supportive influence in my life. We talk about all kinds of things going on in my life. And I want the credential that allows me to be that. Not that you can't be that without the credential, but I'm kind of an education person. Anyway, so I applied for the program a couple months ago, and this week I got an email, and they said, given your recommendations, how strongly you were recommended, and your application and how you answered the questions, we decided that we don't even need to interview. You're in. Yeah, so I'm super excited. It's a 2-year program, and I'll be a certified spiritual director at the end of it. It starts the end of September. So that's one part of my vision that manifested. Another part is, some of you know that when we moved, my husband and I moved to Colorado in 2012, we lived in Denver. We wanted an urban lifestyle. We wanted a city lifestyle. And we had that for 3 years, and I loved it. I love the city, the energy of the city, all the things that you can do. And it doesn't matter if you do them or not, but they're there. And then 6 years ago, we moved up here. We moved to Broomfield. And it just, for me, wasn't the same. And so in April, I shared with my husband that I really, really, really wanted to move back to Denver. And we started looking at homes. And a couple weeks ago, we went under contract at a home in Sloan's Lake, which is a half-hour commute. Somebody said, oh my God, are you leaving Columbine? No, is the answer. No, it's a half-hour commute. But we get to live in a place that makes me feel alive, with the energy, with a lake. We bought a kayak. We're so excited, which is why we were up in Summit County this weekend, because our home here in Broomfield is being shown. And one of the big drivers for me, for us, is that 2 years ago, Kevin's son and his wife and our 2 granddaughters moved to Sterling Ranch, which is about 15 minutes south of Littleton. And so it was an hour to get to them. And I love these girls. They are 5 and 7, and one of the drivers of being in Denver, besides the energy of the city, is being closer to them, of being able to, yeah, we'll come down for your school night, or we'll come down for your gymnastics meet or your dance recital or whatever, because we're only a half hour from them. We're right in between here and them. And I want more of that. You want to show them, picture them? I want more of that. These girls are just, my heart just breaks wide open whenever I'm around them. And so that's another big driver on why we're moving. And so I'm so excited to be living this vision, to be manifesting life that wants to come through me. And it requires faith. You know, when we started looking at houses, people said, you know what the market's like right now? Do you think you're going to find a house? You know, we heard that a lot. I'm like, yeah, but we only need one house. We don't need a bunch of houses, just one house, and we found a house that is really the right size for us. The right size. So faith is required. You have to believe it's at least possible, or you wouldn't take the action that is needed to live from that place. It's required. And faith is seeing without evidence. Seeing things as they can be rather than as they are. Eric Butterworth says this there on page 168, there is more to life than this experience. Whatever you're experiencing, there is more to life than this experience. Open your eyes and see. Open your mind and perceive. Realize that within you, in the kingdom of heaven within, there is a power and life and substance that is sufficient to establish you in wholeness and abundant living. There is that within you. There is more to this life. Olivia Goldsmith woke up one morning. She was 35 years old, and she was a marketing consultant, first woman to make partner. She was quite successful in her job. But she woke up one morning and realized something was missing. Life just didn't feel complete to her. And so she realized that for her to do something else, she couldn't stay in her current job. So she decided to quit her job and live off her savings. And she didn't know what she was going to do, but she thought, you know, one thing I've always loved is to read. So I think I'll write a book. There was no evidence that she could write a book. She had never written a book, but she had a story to tell. And for 2.5 years, she worked on this book, on this manuscript. When she finally sent it to be professionally typed, she was so nervous because then the real work would start. She would have to sell it. And she sent her typed manuscript to many different publishers. And all of them rejected her work. Until finally one said, you know, I just don't think this story has merit. Who wants to read a story about women who have been middle-aged women who have been rejected by their husbands? And she thought, well, that has been my life. The life of my girlfriends, the life of my sisters, the life of many women I know. And the editor said to her, well, I think it would be better if you made the women more sympathetic. So the first wife, you should have a cat with leukemia. The second wife should have a mentally disabled child. And the third wife should have a baby who died. She didn't like that. But she wrote it into the story. And as she wrote it into the story, this editor sent it to all his contacts, and not one of them said yes. It was too unbelievable. Somehow it got to Hollywood, and it landed on the desk of someone named Sherry Lansing, and she loved the story. She said, but there's 3 things I want you to change. Get rid of the cat with leukemia, get rid of the woman who has the mentally disabled daughter, and the baby who died. Come on. We don't need the women to be that pathetic, and the men, their husbands, to be that vile. And so she rewrote her book to as close to original as she could. And the book became a major motion picture and a blockbuster in 1996, the first Wives Club. She believed in her dream, that longing that was coming through her. She took a risk. She had faith. There's a miracle of abundance in the world if we just turn our cup right side up under the faucet. So many times we have it upside down, and the water, we don't get filled up because the water can't go in. Turn the cup right side up and let it be filled. Let it flow. This is what Olivia Goldsmith did. And she said, if I hadn't done that, I would have been personally bankrupt because my soul was longing to do this, to be this. So instead of having an experience of lack, she had an experience of abundance, eventually, by sticking with it. And Eric Butterworth says, what is lack? Is it not simply an absence of faith in the miracle of abundance? God cannot supply lack. Lack is not a condition, but an attitude of the mind. It's never God's will. If we say, I will to will thy will, it is never God or spirits or universe's will that we lack, that we experience limitation. Because we are, remember, dazzling, radiant, limitless beings. So allow ourselves to do that. Perceive all that we are, all that we're capable of. In Judaism, it's a term called tikkun olam. We are called to affirm the value in each other. We're called to affirm the value in ourselves. And a woman named Cheryl Rice did just this in 2016. She was struggling at work with a project. And one of her coworkers handed her a business card, and it had 2 words on it. It said, "You matter." She started crying. She just broke down and realized the power of those 2 words, the power that was within her. So she ordered 100 cards of her own that said, "You matter." And she started handing them out to her friends and family. And then she would leave them in places, like the gas station in the credit card holder. And then one day she was really tested. There was a woman in front of her in the grocery store line, and the cashier asked the woman, "How are you doing?" And the woman in front of her said, "Oh, this is a bad day. My husband lost his job. I don't know how we're going to feed our children. I'm in a lot of pain." And Cheryl Rice, behind her, didn't know what to do. She heard this, and she thought, maybe I should help pay for her groceries. She didn't know what to do, and so she held back. And as she went out to the parking lot, she saw the woman returning her shopping cart. And she remembered, I have these cards. And she handed the woman a card, and it said, "You matter." And the woman broke down in tears, and she said, and hugged her and said, "You have no idea how much I needed to hear that today. You matter." Cheryl went back to her car and cried tears as well because of how good it felt. That will of God is always to help each other. That will of God will always do good for ourselves and for others. So Cheryl decided that she was going to start a movement. And you can go to youmattermarathon.com. It's a marathon where you don't have to run. And on her website, if you sign up, you can get 30 of You Matter cards sent to you for you to hand out to people. That we need to share the word, spread the word that you matter, that you matter, you matter, you matter. We all matter. And to date, The website says there have been 2 million cards shared from 182,000 participants in all 50 states and 84 countries. You matter. Do you know that? Do you know that you matter? I mean, deep down, do you know that you matter? It's an invitation to take that in and to share it with someone else. Let them know they matter. Because you are a dazzling, radiant, limitless being. It's what you are at your core. So your dreams are worth pursuing. Manifest the miracle of abundance. It's there, waiting for you. Namaste. Peace be with you.
Pete's writing down a list of his heart's desire. Got it. Good. Sure.
You with your sad eyes, don't be discouraged, 'cause I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it. The darkness there inside you makes you feel so small. But I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful, like a rainbow. Show me your smile then, and don't be unhappy. Can't remember when I last saw you laughing. If this world makes you crazy and you've taken all you can bear, you can call me up, because you know I'll be there, and I'll see your true colors. Like a rainbow. I saw you laugh. If this world makes you crazy and you've taken all you can bear, you can call me up, because you know I'll be there, and I'll see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful, like a rainbow.
One more time.
I see your true colors shining through. I see your true like a rain.
Pete Jacobs, everybody. We're honored to be his friend.
Thank you. I just love hearing Pete sing. This is the time in the service where we so gratefully receive your offerings and your blessings. We are completely self-supporting through all your tithes and love offerings and donations, and we are just continually grateful that we get to be here together and do this spiritual work, inspire transformation. There's lots of ways to give. You can text to give. You can go to the website. You can do it on the digital bulletin. You can write a check. You can put a $1,000 bill in the collection plate and get him and him and him. So let's say our offertory blessing together.
Good one.
It was Sue's. I just picked that up. God's love has always met and will always meet all my needs. I give freely, I receive abundantly, and I am grateful. So we keep talking about this digital bulletin thing, and what I want to really express to you is that you can get it on the website. So the website has, on the front page, it has sort of the three main things that are going on. And then we just changed it to, instead of saying, get involved to events, the events that are happening. So you go to that page and there's another 3 things, but there's always kind of a few more things going on and we can't fit it all in. So if you on that front page of the website, it has a little thing that says digital bulletin. And if you click that, it has everything that's going on. And not only does it have what's going on, it has the link if you need it to purchase tickets or register or donate or whatever it is. And so I really encourage you at home to access that. And when you come in the morning to church, to either get it that way or to pick up the QR code and do it that way. So we're working really hard to give you all the information so that we don't stand up here and monologue for 25 minutes about everything that's going on. Like hearing me talk, so that's nice. So we do have some stuff going on. So if you're new to us, either in the sanctuary today or on the website, definitely go on the website and get on our email list. So we have the gala coming up, and it's scheduled for September 18th, Saturday, September 18th. And I don't know if anybody noticed, but we've got masks on, and there's a surge happening. There's a lot going on. So we want to keep our community safe. We're really dedicated to keeping you safe and keeping you comfortable. And so we have a survey. So Linda, the president of the board, sent it out this week, and it's not scam. Just because she just because she forgot to put Columbine Spiritual Center in the subject, which I have done a few times myself. It really is asking the question. It's also in the update. It's also in the digital bulletin. So what it's saying is, do you want to come to the gala? Should we do the gala this year? Should we do it in person, outside? We have its whole vision of it all being outside. If you came 2 years ago, we were dancing outside to something underground. We really want to have this event, but it's a lot to put on. And so we want to make sure that there really is the energy to have 100 people at this event and have it have the energy. So please fill out the survey. If you could fill it out by the end of the day, that would really help us make a decision of how we're going to move forward with that. So the next thing is that, let's see, Jeannie, the prayer chaplains are having their workshop today from 1 to 3. You can attend in person or you can attend by Zoom. And so if you want to attend by Zoom and you're at home right now and you're thinking, yes, I want to do that workshop, then register on the bulletin and you'll get the Zoom link. I had somebody who talked to me about how profound that workshop was, how incredible. And so Beth has really put a lot of work into it, and it's a really wonderful way to really connect with prayer. Everybody has access to Spirit, and like just Sue talked about, if you want access to that. So it's available today. So we want everyone to come. We had a great potluck last night, so we didn't have a single picture. All of us that came, it was so much fun. So what's the next one? That was great. Jeannie is starting as the Youth and Family Ministry Director, and today is the big kickoff. If you have kids or grandkids and you want to come back today from 1 to 3, she has great activities planned. They're going to do a scavenger hunt, and there's just going to be so much fun. And then next week starts the youth program. And we are interested in knowing who's going to come to the youth program so that we're prepared. So if you have kids or grandkids that you're going to start bringing at 10 a.m., again, you can register on the website or the digital bulletin so that she knows who is coming, and a lot of that's taken care of. And we're really excited. If you are interested in helping with that and volunteering, we could use some more great volunteers with the kids program. So Jeannie, stand up and you can talk to Jeannie and she'll get you involved. It's a really fun way to connect and do service at Columbine. Okay, so we also have, next Friday, speaking of grand visions, Janice Kelly.
Well, this vision is my husband, John Welsh's. John, raise your hand so everybody can see you. John's been coaching and serving as technical director in Boulder County for youth soccer for the last 32 years. And in May, he took a grand leap of faith and left behind the organizations that he was working with in order to start his own club in association with Kick to Build. He's starting the competitive arm of that organization, standing for multiculturalism, diversity, inclusivity, accessibility, and affordability. So we like to call it Kick to Build Soccer for All. We also have a wonderful family village that we're running out of our downstairs now, and we feel like the two organizations together are a perfect connection for us in the community. So we're hosting a benefit event that's filled with music and kids activities and all sorts of goodness, and it's happening next Friday starting at 4:30. We've got tickets available. You can get them just by pressing this little QR code from your phone or going on the website. You can also see Rachel after service and get them out there. It's going to be an amazing night with Selassie and the Fafa family as our headliners, and my band will be playing as well. And we just thank you for supporting these two wonderful organizations and coming together as a community.
And if you can't come but you want to donate, you can still do that on that form
Absolutely.
as well. Yeah.
Yes.
So we're really excited. Janice's visions are amazing. So she still blows my mind every single time. And then if the gala is still a go until we hear differently. So we're really encouraging people as well. If you are ready to purchase your tickets for that, come and see me. I'm going to be walking around with my iPad, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. Lastly is we are starting the fall program. We're reading a great book called The Magic of Surrender. And if you know me, I love surrender. I'm obsessed with surrender. So it's going to be this great book, and it starts on the 19th of September. It's going to run for 7 weeks. We have groups meeting both in person as well as by Zoom all the days of the week. It's a maximum of 10 people per class, a suggested love offering of $75. The books are on sale in the bookstore along with the Eric Butterworth book that we're studying right now, so that's available as well. And some of you wanted Mary Magdalene that Sue always talks about. That is on sale in there too. And so do register. So we have a website page that you can access from the website to register, or the digital bulletin, or the update. Anyway, or come see me and I will help you. So we would love everybody to be part of that program. I think that's it. Wow, that was a lot. Who's our prayer chaplain today? Lisa is our prayer chaplain. She will be here in the sanctuary. If you would like to connect with her and just have Spirit share through her celebration or inspiration, she is there to do that. And we just are so grateful for our community. Thank you, everyone, for being here today.
Yeah,
That's
let's
it.
stand on up and peace out.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God
take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Let's go have some fellowship.